but I'm hoping you all can hear me and understand me. Um, Before we get started, I wanted to, my name's Sharon. My name's Sharon Galuski. I'm an educator here at Promise Resource Network. But before we get started on today's topic, which is compassion, I wanted to give you a couple of numbers. The first one is our warm line. It is free, it is confidential, it's 24/7, and it's manned by peer support specialists. It's manned by people who know how to listen, people who know how to get resources, people that know how to help and support. So if it's 3 o'clock in the morning and it's kicking, give us a call. If it's noon and you're grateful, give us a call. If you need us to support you, give us a call. All right, that number is 833-390-7728. Let me give you another number real quick. It's our front desk number. You'll get a hold of Miss Kim. If you've got a need to talk to a specific peer support specialist, call Kim. She's the one that can get the message to us. If you have questions, if you have needs, if you just want to talk to one of us, give Kim a yell. She'll get the message to us. So, and any other information, if you want to learn more about Promise Resource Nation Network, give Kim a call. That number is 704-390-7709. All right. Oh, I'm glad to be here today. I appreciate y'all being out there with me. If you're here, give us a yell. All right. So today's topic is compassion. The word for the week is compassion. We did this yesterday in Seeking Safety, and I'm compelled to keep talking about it. I want to keep talking about it because it's so important to me. I want to be more compassionate with myself and other people. I want to be able to use that skill to help someone and help myself. So what is compassion? Compassion is about giving and no taking. And don't expect anything in return, not even a thank you. Feeling good after doing a good deed is not bad, but it has to be genuinely pure in the sense that it should not be taken as a form of reward. True compassion applies not only to human interaction, but relationship among all living things. So I love that. Compassion is the secret, right? When I do something good and I tell everybody, that's my reward. The reward is everybody saying, oh, you're a good person, right? If I don't tell anyone, my reward is greater. My reward is internal, right? Hey, Roberta, good to see you, dear. So I don't want to tell anybody when I'm compassionate with somebody else. I want to be able to reap the rewards of anonymity, of doing something, to do it for the right reasons, to be compassionate, and to do it in secret. So you're not bragging, right? Compassion is not about reward. Compassion is about giving. Compassion, well, let's see what it says. So what are some qualities of compassionate people? Patience and wisdom, kindness and perseverance, warmth and resolve. I like that. I especially love wisdom and patience. In some of the other literature I read, it says love and tolerance is our code. And I got to remember that. And when I'm patient and wise and kind and persevere, when I'm warm and resolved, it helps me help somebody else, right? So I want to be more compassionate. I want to know more about compassion, because the more I know about something, the more likely it is I'm going to be able to replicate that. If I understand it, I'm going to do it, right? Just to give you an idea that this is real and this is scientific, um, brain scans during loving kindness meditation, which directs compassion towards suffering, suggests that, on average, compassionate people's mind wander less about what's going wrong in their lives or might go wrong in the future. As a result, they're happier. So brain scans prove it. When I am compassionate, I feel better, right? When I give, I receive so much more. I don't know if you can relate to that, but that is the um, that is the thing I seek, right? Okay, so how are we compassionate? What are the different ways that we can be compassionate? One thing it is my understanding of compassion it is a connection to someone when they are suffering. It is a giving of loving kindness, of service, of whatever it is that that person needs. We give freely. That's compassion, right? That's compassion. Um, just to give you a quick story, when I was in treatment, I had some anger issues, some really, really bad ones. And I remember being in my counselor's office, Risa's, and she was giving me counsel. She was helping me. She was saying all the right things. And I cussed her out. I was screaming and yelling and telling her what for and what is and how to do. And she just sat there. And I stormed out of the office. And halfway down the hall, I hear her say, "Sharon, I love you anyway." That's compassion. That's the giving of something that helps. That stopped me in my tracks. That is when I started my recovery. When I thought to myself, somebody can love me. Somebody can be kind to me and compassionate. And it's all right. And it's all right. Oh, Roberta says, I get high helping others. It does help us. Man, I get so happy. I get so happy. And I know that when we see our gift, whatever it is, money, talent, kindness, whatever it is we give, we get so much more back, right? So, what are some examples of everyday compassion? Things that we can do that are easy, right? That we may not be thinking about. A smile is one. When we smile, it's contagious. I mean, sometimes we smile at somebody and they're all, right? But that's all right, because a lot of times, most of the time, when we smile at someone, it causes them to smile too. Now, with a mask on, it's hard to see a smile, but you can see it in the eyes, the sparkle. You can see it, the love in somebody's eyes. So a smile and eye contact. Look at the person. That gives respect. That says somebody. And I appreciate that. We support you. Let me help you in some ways. Compassion is a way to give ourselves in such an honest and invaluable manner that lifts another. Gestures from a heart wrapped in an understanding that we are all part of the same human family is an example of compassion. That mutuality, that non-judgmental, loving attitude, mindset I can think that way all the time. And if I think that way all the time, just like it says on the brain scan thingy, um, I get more, I get happy. I think less about what's going to go on. That is negative. I think less about what may go wrong in the future because I'm helping someone else. When I put someone else first, the itty bitty shitty committee stops in my brain. I'm no longer feeling sorry for myself. I'm no longer in that space of negativity because I'm being compassionate with another human being. It's good stuff. Good, good, good stuff. And I'm glad I get to help with this today. I like this. Self-compassion means being gentle, kind, and understanding with ourselves, accepting that we are not perfect, and neither is anybody else. Understanding that there is potential for learning and growth in every mistake we make. So that compassion is when someone has done something, find the positive in it. Find the positive in it and learn and grow from every example we have, every experience we have, right? I want to take something from that negative thing. And when somebody's compassionate with me, when I'm compassionate with myself, it's easier for me to see what the lesson is. It's easier for me to see what I can take out of that experience and let it better my life. Here's a quote by the Dalai Lama. If you don't love yourself, you cannot love others. You will not be able to love others. If you have no compassion for yourself, then you are not able of developing compassion for others. We start with compassion for ourselves, giving ourselves a break, giving ourselves some love and kindness and patience and gentleness. Right? Be gentle with yourself. I always tell people, take gentle care of yourself. Gentle care, right? That compassion that we can have for ourselves. That willingness to understand that we're not perfect and to give ourselves a break. To be non-judgmental with ourselves. When I do this, it's easier for me to be compassionate with others because I know how to do it. Because I know how good it feels. And I know the benefits of it for me. Excuse me. Growing up, people are conditioned by their parents or other people who look after them in childhood. Children model themselves after their caretakers. Depending on which values the caretakers live by, children are likely to adopt the same ones as a blueprint for understanding the world. How you love yourself is how you teach others to love you. We learn, like anything else, how to deal with anger, how to be happy, how to be successful, right? We learn compassion or we don't, right? We are given experiences, especially as a child, that mold us into having similar values as our caretakers, right? When I see someone and how they react to anger, most likely I'm going to do that, right? I'm taught that. If I see someone being compassionate, I'm going to do that too, right? Teach me how to be compassionate. See, and it's not just kids that we can learn that. As adults, we can learn that. How you love yourself is how you teach others to love you. Be compassionate with ourselves. We learned it we can unlearn it, right? We've practiced this negative response to people, this judgmental response to people, the self-centered response to people, right? I teach others how to love me. I teach myself how to love me too. I accept love from others. I accept the definition of compassion because that's what I want. And if I see it in somebody, I can do it. I appreciate the support in silence. I try to do things that I tithe to my community. I don't give money to big organizations and stuff like that. When I see someone I who needs support, I try to help them. But I try to keep it to myself. Nobody needs to know that. If I'm kind and generous, that's the reward. That's the reward. I get so much back from that, right? So we learn it, and then we teach people how to treat us, right? We can teach people not to be compassionate, but we can teach people to be compassionate too with us. We can teach ourselves how to take general care of our being, right? Mind, body, spirit. We can learn. If I don't know how to be compassionate with myself and others, I can learn. I can learn by watching other people. I can learn by other people being compassionate with me. And then I can do what I've learned, right? Practice, practice, practice. The more compassionate we are, the happier we are, right? The less I am in my head when I'm supporting another. Okay. 5 ways to practice self-compassion. Excuse me. First one, practice forgiveness. Stop punishing ourselves for our mistakes. Accept that we are not perfect and be gentle with ourselves when we are confronted with our shortcomings. You are valued by your friends and colleagues because of who you are, not because you are faultless. I got to quit punishing myself. I've got to let that go, that I messed up. Oh my gosh. It's the end of the world. All that stuff I can do. But I want to practice that forgiveness. One way to remind ourselves that we are worthy, even when we're not performing well, is to put a sticky near the desk or in our wallet with a message reminding us to be gentle and kind with ourselves. The understanding that I'm worthy allows me to forgive myself. If I wasn't worthy, it wouldn't matter. It wouldn't matter that I have no compassion for myself or others because I don't know how. I don't have it in me. I am worthy today, and you are worthy today of forgiveness for our faults. Give ourselves a break. I need to learn that. I need to listen to that and forgive ourselves for our shortcomings. It makes us us. Every experience we have that doesn't go well, that doesn't meet our expectation, that we fall flat on, teaches us. And when I teach, I'm more likely to be able to forgive. Right? Stuff. So practice forgiveness. The next one is employ a growth mindset. Embrace rather than avoid challenges. Persist in finding meaning in them and don't give up on yourselves. When you find you are criticizing yourself and negatively comparing ourselves to others, try to find inspiration in their success and strength instead of feeling threatened. When I get to that point, those challenges, we have those challenges, but we can get through them. And compassion is a big part of that. To get that growth mindset, to get that lesson, joy, understanding from that experience, right? And the beautiful thing is we can learn that compassion, right? And if I stay focused on the positive, I'm more likely to be less criticizing in my head, right? The committee adjourns, at least for a little while. Like this next one. Express gratitude. You know, I love gratitude. Feeling gratitude is very powerful. Rather than wishing for what we don't have, there is strength in appreciating what we do have right now. You can choose to write a gratitude journal or go for gratitude walks. By focusing on your blessings, we employ a gentler inner voice and move the focus away from our shortcomings and outward to the world with all its beauty. I always say every day I armor up before I leave the house. And one thing I take is a sword that I think is gratitude because it cuts through so many things. When I use gratitude, when I am grateful for you, I am more likely to be compassionate to you. When I am taking gentle care of myself, I'm more likely to be compassionate. When I'm in that frame of mind that I'm grateful, that I appreciate what you did, who you are, who I am, it gets better significantly. It helps. It's an instant gratification, right? And so what I always wanted, instant gratification. I want it now. Gratitude can give me a better mindset now. I love gratitude. Find the right level of generosity. This individual has identified, it's really long name, and I don't even want to try to do it. This gentleman has identified 3 different reciprocal styles: giver, taker, and matcher. Givers are the most generous people, and generosity is a great way of employing compassion. Generosity, mind, talent, time. We give more than just money. Actually, when we give money, we're sliding ourselves in the other person. Not that they may not need it. Let me put that another way. It is generosity. I got to appreciate. And when I get that level, when I help people, when I support people in the way they need, that's generosity. Not the way I need, right? To have what they do. Okay, another style is also have fun being generous. See the difference we make when we do not forget to give back to ourselves. Doing good for ourselves makes us happy, but only if it does not reduce our level of our well-being. Generosity is a form of compassion. It's giving, right? Give generously, right? And you will receive so much. I promise. Do good, you get good. It may take a minute. I do that. Do good, I get good. It may take a minute. But I got to hold on and know that my compassion is a ripple effect. I got to know that it's coming back to me and that it's going on. Because the more compassion I show, the more I get, the more I do. Right? Good stuff. Last one is be mindful. Mindfulness is be found to have a positive impact on self-compassion, as it has a tendency to lessen self-judgment. Strive to always be in the moment, be aware of what is happening right now without judgment, without labeling. Allow what we think or feel to have its moment. Don't give in to it, microphone, or hide it in a corner. Allow it to come, and then without attachment, allow it to go. That's self-judgment. When I'm in a space of where my feet are, they always told me, be where your feet are. I didn't understand that. Be in the present. I didn't understand how to do that. I had to practice doing that because my mind was everywhere. It was in the past. It was in the future. And I was never in the moment, or rarely anyway. So being mindful is critical. Again, taking gentle care of ourselves. Being able to be compassionate not only with others but with ourselves. Right? So compassion. Compassion is good stuff. I'll say it again. When we do good, we get good. But it might take a minute. When I give compassion, I learn how to give it to myself. I find it's easier to be compassionate with others than it is to me. But I'm learning. I'm learning to be gentle with myself, to be kind with myself, to be patient with myself, to not judge myself for my imperfections. Right? As I learn these things, I'm able to give more freely. I do it without self-judgment. I do it without judging you or judging me. I do it with love for you and love for me. I mean, think about it. You hold the door for somebody. It's an act of love. It's an act of compassion. It's an act of kindness. Love and tolerance is our code. Patience is compassion. Do those things that are good in the world, that are beneficial in the world, right? That help the world. Do those things every day, one person at a time. I truly believe we are going to change the world to a wonderful space without judgment, without fear, without anger. I believe we can do that one person at a time. When I'm compassionate to you, there is that ripple effect. That person may be more compassionate to the next person, right? Did you ever let somebody in? They're trying, their traffic's backed up, everything, and they're looking, please let me in, I got to get out of here. And you stop and you let them in. Compassion. I'm helping this person who is suffering, right? I have seen so many times that person will let someone in. The example is there. The compassion is there. When I give it, it expands. It goes on and on and on and on. As simple as a smile, as complex as helping someone through a difficulty. Compassion is going to change the world, one person at a time. When I do good, I get good, but it might take a minute. I want to thank you all for being here. Hey, Roberta. She says, hi, Sharon. She liked the itty bitty shitty committee. I'm glad you did. I learned that. I learned that a long time ago, and it made perfect sense to me. That's what goes on in my head. Fear made me kill that giant spider, but I had compassion for the giant leaf cricket and caught it and took it outside to free it. Learn compassion. We can do it with all living things. With all living things. To give a break to someone, to support someone through a difficult time, to understand that I'm not perfect and no one else is. That's where we start with compassion. I want to be compassionate today, and I want to make it grow. So I'm going to do good acts, and I'm going to expect the reward of compassion coming back to me when it's time. Okay. I don't want the thank yous. I don't want to be telling somebody. I want to do it in secret, because that's where my reward is. I want you to go out there and be compassionate. Be compassionate with other people and be compassionate with ourselves. We got Sheila in the house. Hi, good morning. And Ivory, nice to see you all. I'm glad you could participate. Do it. Just do it. Right? Give. Give compassion, and it will get you. Like Roberta says, I get high helping others. That feeling of euphoria, that feeling of acceptance and love that I always seek, I can get through compassion. I thank you all so much for being here. I appreciate you. I appreciate Roberta and Ivory. Darlene's in the house. Sheila. Good to see you all. Good to see you all. Thank you. And we'll see you next week. Have a fabulous weekend. And keep peace, share